All right, guys, today we're going to be installing the filter and this new hose I got onto this so we can hook it up to my 20-pound propane tank. Let's do this. You screw the filter on right to the Mr. Buddy. The Mr. Buddy has its own regulator. That's right there where my thumb is at. You screw your filter right into that, your hose into that, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with the hose. I bought the 12-foot hose. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a place right here to send that hose through. Got some 10 snips here. This is the screen. I have like a screen wall here. That's how I shut the kitties back in the back when I'm driving. Show you what I'm doing here. And I'll show you what I got to do here to protect that hose once I run it through here, because these edges are sharp. All right. Whoops, I got to cut the bottom ones. There we go. There we go. If I can cut these little ends off, that would be good if I could. Yeah, I think I can. There we go. See where I cut that off. So what I'm going to do, until I was going to get a piece of PVC pipe and put in here, but I don't have one that big. But I'm going to put some cardboard here to block these sharp edges off to run my hose through. Okay, it's not pretty, but I got this cardboard and it's wrapped in vinyl tape, so this hose don't rub against the sharp points of these wires. I am going to get a PVC pipe, put in that hole, and run the hose through it. But for now, that'll work because I don't want to run into town just for that. But so this protects the hose from hitting on the sharp edges of the wire. Okay, checking for hole or leaks here. Nothing. Nothing. All right, so now we're good to turn this on. Got the pilot lit. And then once you light the pilot on these Mr. Buddies, you turn it all the way to full bore till it turns red. All right, now it's red, and I can turn it to low. There we go. All right, so I've got it hooked up to the filter, to the hose. I run the hose through the back here, right through that hole there, and then down into my tank. Now also, I can run the hose out my side window. I'll probably do that, but I wanted to show you what I was doing here. And I can crack this window like that, run the hose out to the outside, and have my tank outside. Now, I will not be using the Mr. Buddy heater very much. I'll just turn it on just to warm things up when I'm not using my diesel heater. It just a backup heat and a quick warm-up heat is all it is for me. But as you can see, I've got heat-resistant material behind it and under it. The hose is going behind where it's not getting any heat on it. And running up here. Okay, what I want to show you guys also, when you're turning off your heater and you're hooked up to a tank like this, turn your tank off first. Then let it run so that it gets the propane out of the line. And I let it run for a few minutes, and then I'll turn it off at the heater. I usually let it run till it runs out. It runs for a few minutes, but then I turn it off. Okay, it's running out right now. I can hear it starting to run out. So there it goes. And then I just turn it off. That keeps any propane from being in your line. That's the safest way to do it, guys. All right, guys, the question is to use a filter or not on your Mr. Buddy heater if you're hooking up to a 20-pound tank. I looked at a lot of videos on YouTube. I watched a lot of videos. And if the hose is more than 10 feet long, or what I understanding less than 10 feet long, if it's the 10-foot hose made by Mr. Buddy, it can handle the high pressure of the propane. Otherwise, particles of the inside of the hose breaks down and it'll stop up your heater, the little vent or the little ports in your heater. So I went with the filter. I just thought it was a good choice. The filter was $17.99. The Mr. Buddy, the filter, the hose, all this would be listed in the description below of what I used from Amazon, or what I bought from Amazon, so you can check it out there. I am no professional in any kind of way, so research everything, read everything really good about your Mr. Buddy heater. Research everything, and that's what I did. That is why I went with the filter, because I was going to be using a 20-pound tank and not the 16-ounce tanks, you know, the little green tanks. I'm not using those. I have some that I'll keep in here in case I need them, but I like using the 20-pound tank. It's less I have to do to fill it up. The heater already has a regulator built into it, and all I did was put the filter, screw it into that regulator, screw the hose onto the filter, and then put it into my tank. So it'll work really good that way. But I definitely watch, there's a lot of videos about this out there, so you watch them, you look them up, make sure that's what you want to do. And so yeah, that's what I went with, using the filter, because everything I found that I looked up on YouTube about videos about it, there's some big channels that's done videos about it, some small channels, but everything I found, it said if it is not the 10-foot hose made by Mr. Buddy or Mr. Heater at high pressure, if it's longer or shorter, the high pressure of the propane will make little particles, and the oily little particles inside the hose break down and go through your heater, and it'll stop up your heater. So definitely check about it. That's what I came up with. It seems to be working good for me so far, but like I said, this is just a backup heater. I won't sleep with this heater on. I'll only use it when it's kind of chilly and I don't want to fire up the diesel heater, because the diesel heater puts out so much heat. Even on low, it puts out so much heat in here that it gets too hot quick. Last winter here in Southern Oregon, I used my Wave 3 and my diesel heater on like 2 or 3 days. I used them at the same time, but it was only days it was like 20 degrees. The diesel heater kept it pretty warm, but down low it was kind of chilly, and my Wave 3 was mounted down low and it kept it warm that way. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys this. I hope it helps out, but read everything first. When you get a Buddy heater or a Wave 3 heater or a diesel heater, read all the directions. Make sure you have ventilation and circulation. Those are two very important things. Circulation will get that heat around. Ventilation will keep the fresh air in here. Even though it says it's made for indoors, you have to have ventilation with anything that's propane like that. And so see, my back door is cracked open. I keep it cracked open in the dead of winter. I have a tarp hanging over the top so rain don't come in. But when I'm parked like this, I keep it open. I like fresh air. It keeps from condensation from happening. Buddy heater will put out, you'll get condensation if you're only using that. The diesel heater is a very dry heat. If at all possible, get yourself a diesel heater. If it's something you can install, they're awesome. But the Mr. Buddy or the Mr. Heater Buddy is going to be my backup heat source. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace out. All right, guys, I have to tell you one more time. Always, always, always have a carbon monoxide detector, circulation, and ventilation. 3 very important life-saving things. Take it easy, guys.